Good morning, good morning, good morning. How we done this morning? Anybody out there? How we done this morning? Everybody doing good? I guess don't put little Johnny Reb in the uh, stream title and don't get much going on. Anyway, welcome everyone. I'm just sitting around fucking having coffee. Uh, I ain't been a rough night. Hadn't felt good. Fucking breaking out in hives. Fucking just one of them necessary days, I reckon. I got a lot of shit I got to do today. Gonna be a long one. But anyway, I just want to come in, have a cup of coffee, and see what's up with nobody live. And I figured, what the hell, might as well pass a little bit of time. Don't mind, throw a thumb. Uh, and if anybody wants to come up, you're welcome. Uh, I think it gets kind of crazy the way this shit goes. Pretty funny, I'll say pretty funny. It's a pretty sad state of affairs. You know, uh, everything is in fucking, I don't know, in a weird state. Fucking people talk, oh, I hope he gets the help he needs, and then kick him in the teeth. And I know this shit's been going on for a long time. And I understand that, uh, being tired of motherfuckers shitting the way they do, but um, yeah, well, I struggle with it too sometimes. Like I said, his actions been unacceptable. A lot of people's actions have, you know, and but to keep trying to kick a motherfucker and shit like that, and just instead of really having the hope that they get the help they need and shit, just still dragging motherfuckers through the mud. You know, I just think it's time to, you know, start being real. Quit fucking around and well, I was thinking about something a while ago, with 83 or 85, they wrote no expectation of privacy in public. And, a lot of drama and shit like that goes on because motherfuckers present one thing and then they get caught on camera unknowingly and shit like that doing another, being another. And, we got fucking recording devices all around us, home security, fucking phones, the whole 9 yards. And, people try to justify or explain away their fucking bullshit when they get caught on camera instead of just owning it and shit like that. And, I believe in a grand architect in the universe being accountable for the shit I say and do, my actions and everything else. Well, if it comes around that this shit is our judgment, or what if we lived our lives like the camera was always on, because I believe, my personal spiritual beliefs is basically the camera is always on. Camera's always on. And, we're taught in school, to share, to be kind to the community and all that. And, be kind to those that, have less than us, that, at poverty levels, or those that are, are less than us, because, the idea that we're all created equal in a lot of ways is a fucking myth. Whether it comes to intelligence, moral fiber, character, or whatever. And fucking I don't know, so much shit going fucking in my head, but fucking we got to be mindful of our fucking fellow human being. And but we ain't got to. It just we're taught all this shit in school, how to be adults. And I see a bunch of different shows popping up. Well, if you got a beef with somebody, come up. We'll do it one-on-one. Motherfucker, this shit's turning into the goddamn Jerry Springer show. And that's all the fuck it is. The fucking Jerry Springer show. And I don't know, it saddens me. It saddens me. And I hear people sitting around, and even, Constantino, you ain't changing shit. You ain't changing shit. I heard Tonic saying it last night. And, one person can't do this. One person can't do that. Well, one person can. And just because, people are out there hollering, you ain't changing nothing. They told Martin Luther King that. They told, the founders of this country that fucking, they told Mandela that he wasn't changing anything, and that, fuck, he spent fucking years in prisons, to change shit. Nelson Mandela, there it is, trying to, and they told him he wasn't changing anything, wasn't going to change anything. Look what he done. And I've said it for years. They have divided communities, families, and instilled in people that if we don't agree on everything, we cannot work together. If we cannot work together for a common goal. And some of you motherfuckers, live by that. And that anybody that just ain't 100% down on everything you are, something's wrong with. And that, that we can't work together for the betterment of the country, the fucking emotional, mental state, for anything. People are just, back in the day, to know somebody, to get to know them, or to have any kind of really relationship interactions or whatever, y'all had to be in the same general geographical location. You had to spend time around, you spent time with these people, and you built these relationships, real relationships. These, way shit goes now, motherfuckers got so many relationships they don't know how to do them. And, a lot of people fucking for whatever relationship relationships they have, they change and adapt or show different, multiple different relationships that they show different parts of and or give different parts of themselves to. Never a complete picture, never a an honest picture, just what they think that person needs at that point in time or whatever, or to maintain that relationship, whatever it is, or levels, uh, to their benefits or to their, to have their emotional needs met on whatever levels, whether it's like Rebel looking to be accepted or just part of an inner club or somebody that, somebody that's just, and I guess most of it's looking for acceptance, that we've been programmed for so long that if it ain't a certain way, then it ain't, then it ain't right. That if it ain't this, then something's wrong. And that, we're told to trust and to respect and, be honest and shit like that, while our parents lied to us about Santa Claus and a fucking Easter bunny. We just get so much fake bullshit in this world that the world becomes faker every day, that people, that society, that social contracts, that relationships in general, we're being separated from humanity one strand at a time, from each other, from real, honest, unconditional relationships, and it's the same suffrage, the same bullshit, I think, that allowed what happened in Germany to happen. The mindset of it ain't happening to me, it does not affect me, it is no concern of mine. And really, it does affect us. It affects our social contracts, as they put it, in the case I heard the other day. It affects our empathy for our fellow man. It affects our the conditions that we put on ourselves in relationships, or that we put on others in them. Our expectations, our willingness to be real and to be vulnerable, and this form of community is good at spreading words and ideas and hate, and but it's real bad on the real fabric of relationships and of human intimacy on any level. And I've admitted it from fucking jump. There's times I sit back and I enjoy the karma. I've been part of the fucking mob or whatever that has attacked, ridiculed, scrutinized people's behaviors, fucking the things they say and they do. And the simple fact is, everybody talk, well, let's be adults, just be adults, just be adults. For one, we're all online. There's going to be fucking people that just don't, that just dig into people just because, just to try to find out. Well, if you're here, I suggest you be fucking honest, or fucking be super smart and fucking, um, completely sociopathic and um, computer savvy, fucking technologically savvy, whatever you want to call it. Because there's people gonna fucking find you. Period. What's up, Nevaeh? How are you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you uh, being in the chat. By Emo's rules, people owe me $5 for having the chat on. What's up, Defend? Good to see you, brother. Well, brother, I think it's dumb not to give a fuck about other people, brother. I think that sometimes that the people that we choose to give a fuck about or get caught up in get the better of us. But I had rather, and like I said, I don't always do it. I had rather fucking, I'd much rather feel good about myself about trying to help somebody up and to be a decent human being and just, than I had just to kick them in the teeth and not give a fuck. We have to use discernment, our life experiences on the people that we involve or get involved with, fucking try to help. I mean, I've been burned a bunch of times too. And every time it's like, I swear to God, I'll never do this again. I'll never do that again. But yet, when I put myself in positions I see other people coming from, always sucked. I don't know about that, brother. And how I would prefer to be treated or whatever if I was in a similar situation, because we're all one fuck up from similar situations, whether it being homeless or fucking jailed, whatever. None of us are truly insulated from fucking anything that we have attacked somebody else for. I don't think. Well, I say anything, but man, I mean, I don't know. It's a fucking hard deal because there's pieces of shit in the world that we got to take a stand against. For evil to prevail, is all it needs is a good man to simply sit and do nothing. We've got to make judgments and be accountable for those that we associate, that we keep company and seek counsel from. It's a fine line. There's a time to call out bullshit, tyranny, scams, a time to call out bullshit. But that's a stain I share with you, brother. Right? Do you live from it? I got mine sitting right here beside me today. Been drinking on it for, I don't know, 3-4 hours, fix to make another pot. But and I believe that we have to be accountable to one another. We have relationships. Part of a relationship is being accountable for my actions, for my choices. And if I'm part of a community and I believe in accountability, then I have to be accountable to that community. Whether it's my immediate family, whether it's the community around me. And I don't mean the government, I mean the people's. Um, and I believe we're all going to stand accountable for our actions. And like I said, I believe that a lot of this shit could be dealt with or handled or disappear very simply, if we treat people the way we want to be treated with the fucking understanding and the basic civility and human decency. We need to start giving it. But we also need to be, I believe, I know I do. I have to be accountable for what I do to those in my life. Especially those that it affects. And when it affects the community, it affects the community. I agree, Nevaeh. I agree. There's some shit that is worth taking a stand on, and then there's some shit just what it's just better to let them hang their fucking selves. I agree. Uh, but I also think that when we approach things from love instead of malice or to mock or to belittle or to build ourselves up, instead of just with the love and the compassion of a human being, just to say, hey, this is my perception on whatever's going on. I don't believe it's healthy for you or anybody else. And, I don't agree with it. I'm not okay with it. And I think it's harmful. And if you continue to exhibit such behaviors or continue to do such things, I'll have to love you from afar. Call it what it is and then leave it there instead of just, I mean, it's like a dead burn soap opera. And it's ridiculous, and then people talk about, well, you go in real life, you go in real life. Well, I understand there's difference between, content creators and real motherfuckers. Content creators like Ricky and the Boss or shit like that. People that are just running around, and like I said, some of them need to be called out. Some of them need to be exposed. And sometimes you just need to drop your 2 cents in and walk away. Well, speaking to an issue, calling it what it is, but making, and I'm not saying anybody's been wrong for the way they've restrained Connie or fucking spoke to shit and everything else. Or anybody else for that matter. It's not me to judge anybody else's actions or how they go at it. And speaking to it and calling it out is different to me, than continually rehashing it, re-talking about it. And, some fake motherfucker, oh, I hope he gets some help. I hope he gets the piece of shit. I hope he comes back the same way so we got more content. And to me, that's wishing pain and torment on another soul, on another human being. And to despise their actions and let them know that they're not unacceptable or that they are unacceptable actions and that you won't be a part of it or whatever, or that you'll stand against it is one thing. But to sit and hope and that they stay in that state just for fucking content, or just to have something to talk about and stir the fucking bullshit. is it's fucking wrong and it's shameful. Um, or it is from my perception. Um, brother, defend if that works for you, by all means, brother. Uh, you know, fucking. I was told one time I was on a spiritual quest and had a lot of anger issues myself, resentments. Um, you know, had a lot of Connieisms going on. You know, people done this, so I was justified or right in doing this, and blah, it was their fault, this and that and another. And fucking, I was asked by a fella, he goes, "Well, would you rather be right or happy?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" Um, well, no, but I believe anytime that somebody's actions or accountability or whatever, or questions scrutinized or whatever, that it's always taken personal, um, by 99%. And uh, you know, and people are going to come out defensive, especially those that uh, well, Wormy for one, uh, and or have issues being honest with yourself or others, whatever. Well, I agree. There's some people that are a lot more tactful than me. I've seen people be able to do it and have conversations. And I don't know if it's because of my inability of communication and taking letting shit build before I generally speak up, um, or I just naturally figured that I'll play a tape where I'm gonna say this and they're gonna do this, to where I make it that way. Uh, but either way, there's ways to have them conversations, even if they're not, even if people having the conversation don't have the best communication skills, to where it don't, the best or worst. There's ways of being able to have them conversations, being adults, and letting them be what they are instead of just continuously. And you know, for years I've sat and for a couple of years, kind of sat in the background and watched shit here and there, and it's just turned into, to me, just one little click attacking this click, and everybody, well, you got to choose a side. No, I fucking don't. Uh, well, nobody. It depends on the person and what's up and stuff like that. Like I said, one thing I have really worked on trying to be better at is being less triggered myself, because I have been. Um, and and I've learned that a lot of these keyboard warriors on here come in such a foul way, just strictly to uh, get that response, a response. And I don't take anything anybody says over the internet as a threat. They can say anything they want to. They become a threat when they show up. um, but I know there's a lot of fake ass motherfuckers out there, you know, and I don't think I'm the baddest motherfucker on the block. Uh, I mean, my buddies, Colton, Smith and Wesson, some pretty bad motherfuckers, but I don't think I'm the baddest motherfucker on the block by any means. I do know I can protect and serve myself and all this. And to take, I try not to feed their shit as best as I can. and I've had some people come at me, with some little bullshit in the past and stuff, and fucking, got triggered, and it fed. It was the catalyst, the catastrophic catalyst. When a troll or a hater, whatever you want to call them, comes at you, uh, regardless of how foul it is, when you respond, react to that attack or that slander or deprivation or fucking fact, whatever it may be, that feeds into the catalyst. And then it starts a cycle. And it's just like the bully or whatever at school. Well, just ignore them and they'll go away. And that really works. But we always, we allow people to push us into a corner to where we feel like we have to defend this or that or whatever. And here on this platform, if somebody has an idea of something, they whisper in the little back rooms and backbiting and shit like that, and then all of a sudden, you got 50, 100 people wanting to call you to the curb over some fucking wackadoo crazy fucking scheme that they cooked up, and they want to hold a fucking YouTube trial, a fucking and motherfucker sidestep, play around, whatever, fucking deny, lie, whatever, instead of going, hey, this is what happened, this is what I done, or whatever, or didn't do. Because they don't have the ability to be honest with themselves. And if they can't be honest with themselves, they damn sure can't be honest with anything else. But, if like I said, if we lived like the camera was on all the time and it was a God that was going to judge us, and that our existence on the next realm or plane, being negative or positive, depended on what was on that fucking camera, we'd all be different. We'd all act a little better. Defender. Right, defend. Brother, I agree. And there's some run around legendary status, whatever you want to call it. And but what I mean, at what price to somebody else, or how many others did they sacrifice or step on or abuse, lie to, mistreat, whatever, to have that public personification of their characters? Bandwagon. And like I said, there's times I think we all get caught up on a bandwagon. There's times, I know I do. I can't speak for y'all, but I know there's times for me, I can jump on the fucking bandwagon and beat the pinata of the day, the piece of shit. I try not to. I can take fucking I can take small amounts of fucking pleasure or fucking satisfaction, like when Rebel first got hemmed up or whatever, I was like, that stupid motherfucker. But I've been locked up a time or two. I know what it's like to be yanked off the fucking streets or out of your life and put somewhere you don't want to be, where you can't make phone calls, where you can't tell people where you're at, just fucking completely cut off. And it can be scary. It is scary, even for the motherfuckers that have been through it, a couple of times. No, but I agree. I tend to 90% of the time, and I believe a good portion of people do. But I still think sometimes we all can get sucked in uh, on a bandwagon here or there, whether we realize it or not. But I don't. That don't mean we stay there. That don't mean we ride that bandwagon till the wheels fall off. I just think that there's times that, and I think it's human nature that times that we can get sucked in with the crowd, with the fucking, uh, I guess, popular opinion or whatever. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I agree, Nevaeh. Like I said, I've always said, them things are writ on a man's heart, not on paper or anything else. And uh, sad to know that in 20 years, the 30-year-olds are going to say, fuck, I turned into a nobody just like the people I used to. Okay. Right. Right. You know, youth is, I kind of wished I would have been born with the understandings, the open mindedness, the ideas, the knowledge that I have right now. And that the older I got, the dumber I got, type deal. And instead of coming out just as dumb as a box of rocks, fucking getting to this age in life and still being dumb as a box of rocks. Good morning, COVID. Welcome. Good to see you. Nevaeh, again, I agree. Uh, you know, uh, we're all somebody. I don't believe we're all created equal. I mean, and the reason I say that, you got people with mental issues, whether it's deficiencies, disorders, insanity, whatever. You got people with physical, you got savants and you got idiots. So, uh, the thought that we're all created equal to me is somewhat of a myth. You know, it's a good idea. It sounds good, but it's a myth. Uh, you know, just like Shelly was talking yesterday. And Shelly, I ain't trying to bash you, but you was talking. People are fat because they eat food. Well, yeah, but you have some people that are fat because they overeat food, and then you've got some that have disorders, Graves' disease, thyroid disorders, blah 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 blah. And some of them can be addressed with pills, just like your mental disorders that people like to hide behind and shit like that. But to sit there and say, well, if they're fat, I can call them fat. Well, if you're a fucking mental retard, I can call you a fucking mental retard then. And I don't believe in politically correct. I do believe in kindness, and to me, there's two different things. But defend, I disagree. That's what, to me, that's what makes you and folks like you and everything else have value. And your word is your value. Your moral character is your value. And by being a better person, by setting an example, by living up to your word and your oath, you make the world a better place, brother. And to me, you're a shining example. You put your line in the sand. You defined or stated who and what you're about, and you've lived up to it, brother. Maybe not in everybody's eyes, but I can damn sure speak to my relationship with you, and I've always found you to be a man of your word and of your character, bro. And that don't mean that I take everything you say fucking as righteous truth and shit like that. Uh, to me, it's ignorant for anybody to do that. But I also know I can take you at your word. And I trust that. And that you strive to be a better human being on a daily basis. You try to uh, to me, you're a good example, bro. That's just all there is to it. I agree. And I know you've touched my life on several occasions, defend, and challenged me to be a better person. So, but one's value is, one's self worth is one's self worth. But a lot of people don't have the concept of self worth and perception, or aren't able to distinguish their own self worth from the opinion and perceptions of others. Uh, you know, and in all these conversations, I've seen people, well, we also suffer from mental issues or mental illness. I agree. We all suffer from selfishness and self righteousness um, to some degrees. And to me, that's a hell of a mental disorder or issue. Um, Riddle me this. All right, Riddler. Well, I need more data to really expand, extrapolate, or even have a chance at answering that riddle. Uh, for one, what's the definition of good people? And two, what are the boundaries, the scope, the depth, or specific evils of social media do you speak? Agreed, Nevada. You know, um, but brother, that's like, I mean, in response to your question, that's kind of like asking why the bad people use good boom boom sticks, freedom instruments. You know, it's to me that question. I understand what you're getting at, um, but I think it comes back to the herd mentality, the sheeple shit, following along with the popular, what seems to be the fad or whatever. You know, and like I said, I've been guilty of it. I got some entertainment out of Connie after I got introduced to it. I also tried to speak truthfully to the kid, you know, and and sometimes the statements I made were fucking, I'm not the proudest of, but I made them. I've done it. Um, but in the majority of my action, what I said and done, of hopes of jarring something, of being a positive in his life. And you can't be a positive in somebody's life when you're always co-signing bullshit neither. You have to be willing or able to speak the truth no matter how hard, how harsh or rough it is. You know, and he made a comment a couple of times before he, blocked me that last day or two. That I was trying to be a daddy in this. I can't say trying to be a daddy, but trying to point out um, some some better role models, some examples. And I don't claim to be, the best daddy or anything else. Um, or even the best human being. Uh, yes, he has to be ready to hear it, accept it, and own it. But you know, and I can go back and say, well, okay, Rebel's not responsible for his shit because the government, society, the community has systematically ripped the family unit apart. And that lack of consequences and a male role model is what caused this issue. So the government and the community is responsible for his actions and his mental health. But that's bullshit. You know, they've had a part in it, but they're not responsible for it. But yeah, he definitely needs some sort of a positive role model, mentor, or whatever, and consequences. Uh, Defend. I appreciate your perception and your opinion, but I disagree. Uh, there to me, there's always turning back. If somebody is willing, if people have hit their rock bottoms, uh, and end up with them just them themselves and God, their maker or whatever. uh, I believe any change is possible, bro. Uh, Good or bad. Um, to me, that's like saying a crack addict will always be a crack addict, or that um, someone that has in-gamed somebody else's existence in this realm uh, will do it every time. Uh, and uh, Nevada, to me, that's I understand what you're saying, and I agree with 99% of it. We don't have to accept every card dealt, but there's some cards we don't have any choice in too. So, and some people have ended up in some fucked up situations. Not really. There's not always choices in the bay. I can take. Um, well, there's several cases. I know one of them happened in the what was it, mid '80s, early '90s. I believe in New York, New Jersey, something like that, where three black kids were convicted of this murder and rape, forced to confess by a detective, uh, and their lives fucking run. Spent fucking 20, 25 years in prison. Uh, Yada 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 yada, and their choices were manipulated, distorted. They were, in some cases, completely lied to about. And one of them was a very mentally deficient young man that, they basically told him, hey, if you admit to this, you get to go home tonight. Um, and um, I'm not really sure exactly what point that or what lies that you're talking about there defend. But the government's known for a long time that they couldn't plug the leaks, just like the war on drugs. They knew that was bullshit. They just had to sound good and everything else. Nevaeh, again, I agree with the ideology and stuff like that, but sometimes there's no way out of that trap. The government. COVID, I appreciate you being here. Much love, man. Stay healthy and love one another, brother. Thank you. But there's sometimes that it's the unescapable trap. Like I said, I understand with the ideology and the sentiment and the theology behind it, but forever, there's exceptions to every rules. I agree. CIA still imports cocaine from Colombia. You run into anybody, COVID, send them over here. I'm bored. I appreciate the conversations. And I still don't think, no, still no guest. I will put the link back in just in case. Very few, I get few that come up and hang out and talk or whatever, and that's okay. I wouldn't want to talk to me either. So, if anybody does want to come up. Well, yeah, the opium and heroin and shit coming out of Afghanistan. I mean, they've been bringing it all up, from all over. Military, CIA, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they got military ships hauling the ship back, on our dime. And that had been one of the biggest next to, the next to the theft of our incomes, taxes, taxation itself. The war on drugs has been the highest revenue generator for this fucked up government ever. They make money by bringing it in, and the wars they fight to get it and control it. They make money on the street level distributions, and then they make money off of their cohorts and conspirators that help them distribute these products to the streets of America. They make money off the court systems and the prisons that conspire with them to incarcerate, jail, and all that. So, I mean, they're the biggest drug warlords on the planet, and we have allowed it. We the people, everybody in the sound of my voice, or fucking on, everybody on this planet has a responsibility in the state of affairs of this planet. And people go, well, I don't have a responsibility. I'm only one person. Well, every other motherfucker walking the planet is only one person. Short of the elite that, drawing cult members and gang leaders to control the masses. There's a lot of mistakes in the government. Nevaeh, there is so much money being poured into other countries, from shit that's been suggested. Some of it I've studied a little bit, and whatnot. China pretty much owns all the fucking federal land within our borders on paper. All these monies and shit that we've gotten from China. So we're leveraging and putting our real estate on the auction block, along with our slave numbers, them Social Security numbers, to work off whatever debt that the government puts an individual in. And this country has been, I don't know, they called it the Great Experiment for a reason. And I think that they're ready for their experiment to come to an end. They just didn't figure on it being quite as tedious to bring it to an end, or quite as logistically challenging, or however you want to say it. I think they bit off more than what they was bargaining for when they allowed it to get to where we're at. And two, have failed to completely, as of right now, completely destroy the community fabrics. Because there's some that still hold true to the knowledge and idea that, if we don't stand with each other, even though that we disagree on some shit, but eventually we're standing completely by ourselves. And ultimately we always end up standing by ourselves. Because in the end, we're really, all that we have is ourselves. I mean, we have a community, supposedly, an obligation, a duty to that community, according to social contract. And yet we fail it on a daily basis. We allow and encourage to own our own ignorance, and to allow these corrupt, evil, fucking vile excuse of humanity that most call them the elected official of the government to make choices for us. We're too stupid to understand the confines or the logistics of the social contract, or the needs of the world, or the government, or whatever. We're just too stupid. And if you don't believe me, go ask Obama. He said it more than once. Man, Republican versus Democrat is bullshit. It is bullshit. They're all part of the same body, the right hand and the left hand. They all know what they're doing. They all know it's a script act. They call them fucking actors, scripted actors on the fucking news. It's all just a fucking scripted play to continue and further the illusion of freedom that they allow you to live with today, because it's simply fucking an illusion. Because they have separated us to the point people won't stand together. They're always trying to run the smear campaigns, just like they do in the fucking government. Distraction, distraction, distraction. There's 15 Chinese balloons now, and they all come from Afghanistan loaded with heroin, heroins, and heroin. Let's see. I have to refill my coffee. Well, pour me another cup. Nevaeh, we are not suffering to them. Nothing is perfect. We are just an acceptable loss. They scream equity and lean towards socialism only because they failed as Democrats. So instead of Rep versus Dim is polluted to the point that no one knows. Yep. How many times now do you watch a news report or a video and say, what, whatever? How do you know? Before we believe blindly now, we can't believe because we can see really good. I agree. Well, I mean, that's just like when they started assigning flight characteristics to this first balloon. Then it was in my Alaska, Montana, fucking Canada, fucking over Lake Huron, then fucking South Carolina. Then there was one, then there was three, now there's five fucking. They had a fucking camera on the beach that they were live streaming the fucking footage of this Sidewinder. Now, why the fuck use a Sidewinder missile on a fucking balloon? Another, but, I started going lie, 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 deception, fucking, the psychops, the art of fucking distraction, the art of hiding in plain sight, the art of fucking sleight of hand. Yeah. It's just like, days before that, and the weeks before that, the big news was the 5 black police officers in fucking Memphis or Nashville, Memphis, I believe, that fabricated bullshit and murdered another black man in the name of the law and under the color of the law. And I ain't heard hardly two shits about that since. Got a president falling up the fucking stairs, wandering the fucking White House, digging fucking shit out of his ass, eating it like it's peanut butter, and looking to put fucking new waffles on the fucking roof of the White House so his canoe don't fucking leak. But he's the best for the country. It's a fucking house of cards, man. A house of fucking cards. The way they kind of, they call it, what they call it, can't think of a capitalist economy. Oh, it's so righteous and fucking perfect. Blah, 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 blah. Man, bunch of bullshit. It's not. It's set up to enslave us. It is set up to fucking put us in debt before we ever hit the ground and keep us in debt for generations after we're stuck in the ground. And the film, some people can see really good, everybody's like, oh, you and your fucking conspiracy theories. Which one's a fucking theory? Everything I've fucking hit on has come true. They release fucking knowledge of aliens. They go blah, 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 blah. They're not a conspiracy theory when they're proven true, or 90% of them anyway. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist because I subscribed or fucking believe or seen this shit before anybody else even could do anything more than laugh at it. Nevaeh, again, I mean, I've seen deals on the homeless shit out in California, these state regulated, founded and funded organizations that are supposedly fucking, there to end the homeless, to give the homeless shelter and shit like that. And they call it a nonprofit, and they're right. They collect, I believe the number was their budget. I don't remember the number on their budget, but if I remember correctly, the math after they paid all their paid state employees in this deal, and all their expenses, that less than 10% of the funding raised, given, gathered, donated, or allotted by the state, less than 10% of that money actually goes into the issue of homelessness, except for on the fucking billboards and stuff. You know, like a Ponzi scheme type deal, you know. And why the fuck do we send any countries any money? Why should we send any country a dime? And yet, why should any other country send us a dime? We shouldn't. It's all distraction. It's all bullshit on fucking paperwork. It's all fucking fake. You know, and really, money is fucking fake. Has been since really before they even took us off the gold and silver standard. Well, the gold standard is what they call it. You know, but look at that. Gold is the one universal currency in this realm that we share at this frequency. The number one universal fucking currency. Whether it's in its raw form, fucking minted, anything else. It is, you know, other than goods and services. And our own government made it illegal to privately own gold more than a couple of grand, whatever it took to make a fucking wedding ring. Other than that, it was illegal for a fucking private citizen at one time in this country to physically own, possess, or obtain fucking gold. The government claimed fucking ownership of it all. And yet they set up this capitalist economy that said, well, you know, if you have the means to accomplish something, generate your own revenue, income, or whatever, you know, you have a right to do it off the back of other people. Yeah, you got to compensate them a little bit for the chores that they perform and the services they give. But you can, you know, you can give them $1 a day and then produce 1,000 units. And each unit you turn around and sell for 10, 100, 100,000. But yet that employee or that worker or that service provider that short of the monetary ability to do this or to set up the same production itself is strictly controlled by the monetary ability or flexibility of the other individual. You get to make $1 million off of his $1. That is just short of fucking slave labor to me. Unavailable to me, that's we've had slaves in this country. You have, I understand the ideology, don't get me wrong, but I don't agree with the military actively pursuing minors, because they start on them before they ever get out of school, to continue the indoctrination, programming, brainwashing, whatever you want to call it, of individuals that they deem cannot buy cigarettes, a gun, or alcohol in this country. I don't think the military ought to be able to recruit the youngest like that. Right, I follow what you're saying. But as far as a 2-year mandatory military service and training, that's slavery, man. That is slavery. Trade schools are better than nothing. You don't have running water. You don't have shit that leaves your house that you don't have to haul off. blah, 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 blah. You know, trades are more valuable and should be paid more than college fucking educations. I'm sorry. You get more out of a trade. Everybody talks about, well, you're just digging a fucking ditch. You don't deserve $100 an hour. Motherfucker, you come dig this fucking ditch. You come put your shit pipe in this hole. You keep your shit pipe cleared out, and then tell me it's not worth $100 to dig that ditch. If it's worth or $100 an hour, if it's worth $10 million for fucking Chevrolet CEO in his salary, not to mention stock options and blah 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 blah. If it's worth that for him to sit up there, commit all these fucking felonies, blah, embezzle, whatever, get all these perks, but yet the dude working the production fucking floor of a factory is doing good to drive that same automobile he makes or pay his fucking light bill. That's criminal. Um, Nevaeh, I strongly disagree with that comment. Have we not, and has history not taught us slavery does not work? It's not a good look, and it's not okay. So how could we better this country willingly and knowingly enslaving people? To me, that is an oxymoron. One cancels out the other. You cannot have slavery and better this country. You just can't. And if you'd rather be a slave to what you think is a better country, that is your right to do so. When they would get their fucking hands out of our pockets and off of our fucking guns, I don't believe that would be an issue. Well, what else would you call it, Nevaeh? If you force somebody into something that they do not want to do and to participate in something that they do not want to for religious, physical, or moral beliefs, if it's mandatory, it is forced. How is that not slavery? I do not understand. What word would you use for it? If not slavery, what word would you use for it? When it's forced upon you, Nevaeh, anything is slavery. Grape or whatever. If you are forced to do so, if it is mandatory for you to do so, it is how is that not a form of slavery? How is that not an infringement on my right to freedom of religion? And how can you better a country by forcing somebody into something that they don't want to be a part of, especially when you're forced into the service of said country against your will, and that said country says that every man has the right to choose what makes him happy and to pursue that and to be free from being forced into a government service. Now, I'm not saying I do agree with you. People ought to know how to defend themselves. They ought to know how to defend the ground that they stand on, the ideas that they believe in, and everything else. Yes, Nevaeh, yes, I believe so. I believe so because we're forced to go to school to learn the history they want to teach, and fucking what in the last 20 years, so many lies have been exposed about the shit we were taught in school and it's not taught; it's brainwashing. You know, but yeah, that is a form of fucking slavery. I'm sorry. I know it's not a popular idea, well received, or anything else. And like I said, I'm not trying to be ugly at you in any way. I appreciate the debate and the conversation. No, I know it's not just about history. I'm not saying it's just about history. I was using the lies about the history that make this government look better as one of the points of brainwashing and indoctrination. There's some universal truths mathematically and things like that. And I'm not saying school, the idea of school, what school should be, what they present it to be, is a beautiful, wonderful thing. Uh, but yeah, I'm sorry for that's forced programming. You know, why not? Why force a child to go to school starting at 4 or 5 years old to be taught a lot of what we know is untrue, a bald-faced fucking lie, and the idea of bettering themselves in education. If we're really about free people and this and that and another, shouldn't, wait 10, 12, till they're 10, 12, 15 years old and decide if they want to go to school and do something or um, just get out and go to work, get a job and start generating. Well, no, yes, I believe that it not only to the parent, but that's where I believe the unity of a community comes in. Back in the day, you had apprenticeships, trade schools, and a young boy at 10 to 13 years old, somewhere in there, especially from a impoverished family and whatnot, would basically be sold into slavery, given into slavery, but his payment was learning a trade and becoming a master and this and that and another. Um, yes, that's the way it started out. Look at Alaska, especially for their native uh, species of human beings, should we call them, natives to the land. Um, some of them have basic, science, math, and history, mandatory subjects, but their education comes from the community in hunting and fishing and just the art of surviving uh, you know in the land that they live in. Good morning, Maddie. Thanks for being here. There's some, around here. You can hire in as an electrician apprentice. Uh, it's on the job training. Same thing with heating and air in some states. Uh, concrete. There to me there are yes, Inuit is who I'm speaking of. Yes, sir. Uh, but you see, they're in trade schools. But yes, I believe it is. There's no saying. I believe it comes somewhere out of Africa. Um, that it takes a village to raise a child, and I believe that is true on more levels than it misses a mark. Um, but and I guess sending forcing children to school and da 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 because technically aren't children property and liabilities until they're 18 years old? I mean, don't it really come down to that? That our mindset is that we fathered or and mothered or this child was born to us, so it belongs to us. It's property. You know, so but by my understanding and what research I have done into natural law, common law, Morris law, maritime law, most of them share some similarities, short of maritime law, um, to the next. Uh, but maritime law is a complete dictatorship, to where natural law is individual, complete freedom to do whatsoever one wishes, short of harming someone else. You're right. No argument there, Nevada. I mean, there are, that was a generality, but the idea is it takes the whole, everybody that comes in contact with that child to raise it and to help set examples and blah, 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 blah. Uh, to set the example of the social contract. Uh, you know, but you know, and all of it, whatever the issue is, the biggest issue I have is have seen or noticed, or what I think is the biggest, is lack of compassion. Whether we've been programmed, whether we're born that way, or whether it just comes down to out of sight, out of mind, and people really are, well, if I've got something to eat and they don't, that's their fault, and that's on them mentality. Um, just lack of love, kindness, and compassion for the fellow man. My hives finally started knocking down. Uh, Benadryl kicking in. But with compassion, you also set yourself up sometimes to be incompassionate. Uh, well, to me, empathy is being able to connect to that emotion, to that state, to that experience, to share, to feel somebody else's pain. Compassion is just simple kindness for nothing more than to be kind. Um, and to treat people is, I would hope to be treated. Um, and, you know, and I may be a little wrong or rusty in my understanding of definitions or specific words there in the way. Like I said, I'm not trying to argue, little small points as such. It's just the idea of love, kindness, compassion, uh, and if nothing else, trying to be a better me. Uh, because, like I expressed to defend, there's been a lot that I encountered, our relationship interactions, whatever you want to call them, that has challenged me to be a better person, to be a better human being, to have more understanding to those that are different than myself, whether it's in, no matter what it's in. You know, and to me, one of the I bet y'all can't hear me. But me, I don't know. I just know I feel better about my overall self. I hear you, Nevaeh. I can take the poking in the rib. And like I said, I'm not saying I'm right, Nevaeh. Like I said, I was, you know, uh, just searching for perceptions, point of views, trying to keep my mind open. But uh, much love. Best of wishes. Hope you have a beautiful day, my friend. I thank you for being here and the conversation. So, like I said, Godspeed, my friend. So, but the human being is a very well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, Come back anytime, brother. Nobody wants to chop it up with old cowboy, huh? Choppy, choppy, choppy. But I don't know. A lot of times for me to sort my own shit out, I got to talk to myself, talk to y'all. You know, like I said, I know I didn't get in the glorious position in the uh, realm of persuasion uh, and such a notable, upstanding member of the community by all the wise and responsible decisions I've made. And like I say, you know, for me, I have to take accountability for the state of the community. Uh, and or my part of it, my part of it. I don't have to take utter complete responsibility. But then yet again, don't I? How long do I sit in silence? You know, uh, how long did I let it go? Well, it ain't don't affect me. It ain't my fucking circus. You know, uh, and like I said, there's no rules to shit. There's suggestions. There's good ideas. Uh, there's things that happen more often than not, or more often than not, particular things or situations or whatever um, are unacceptable or acceptable. But that's all shit we have to judge within ourselves. And I know for me, when I start lying to myself, then I start lying to others. Uh, but I also know that sometimes I'm the easiest person in the world to lie to me. Uh, and whether you want to call it lying or justifying some fucked up bullshit, um, catfish, fake fronting, whatever. But I have to And all that said, I have to be willing to be held accountable by those that I associate with, that I hang out with, or whatever. Because it's oh shit, damn on. Um, hmm, just if I'm gonna have an opinion or come up here and preach something, I have to hold myself to that standard, and I expect y'all to hold me to that standard. Uh, and I expect if I get caught slipping, fucking up, uh, lying, misrepresenting, or whatever, that that those around me would hold me to that standard, to my own standard, uh, hold me accountable. You know, and like I said, accountability is a hard thing to adhere to. Um, I was taught in a situation, quest, or journey that acceptance is the solution to all of my problems. That means to have a problem, I have to accept being a problem or the problem. Uh, to be able to move past it, I have to accept the solution, even if behavior modification, ideology is part of that solution. Um, but without first accepting, acknowledging, uh, and then acting to rectify said situation. So acceptance is the major key. You know, I have to accept the fact that uh, I don't know everything. I have to accept the fact, contrary to popular belief, that I'm not infallible. Uh, but I'm not above reproach or fucking uh, accountability. You know, I have to accept the fact. Sometimes I'm fucking hypocritical. Uh, Most people, I know, I don't even like saying it or thinking it. The fucking truth is the truth. Uh, and I think that the majority of us are in some points, whether we realize it, intend to be, or want to be. Uh, you know, another question of topic: is there a difference between emotional issues and mental issues? Are they the same? Do they go? Does one accompany the other, yet they're still separate? Uh, and if they are separate, does everybody with emotional issues have mental issues? Uh, just questions, things that make you go, things that make you go, things that make you go, Well, it feels like it's going to turn into a very nice fucking day. And And it needs to be. Bad thing is I feel it's about nap 30. And with the Benadryl I had to take, it's going to be a struggle. But hell, it says it's 50 degrees here already. So, nobody wants to talk to Cowboys. We got a 24% chance of thunderstorms today. Overnight. So, may have some new content there too, y'all. Y'all know how much how I love running around these fucking storms, playing with the lightning in the bottom. Anyway, I'm back up to 3 devices. Had to get me a new phone yesterday. Didn't really want to, but still glad I did. Kinda. Let's see who all is alive now. Miss Sasha in the Springs is alive. You know who ain't lying? Everybody else. Miss Sasha, much love. Hope you're having a good day. I would come drop in and mute watch, but you never have any sound, huh? I don't understand why, but and it's all good. If it works for you, it works for you. But a shout out, much love. Hope things are well for you, and yeah, there really ain't much going on in the world of YouTube this morning. Must be that Sunday morning coming down. Yep, I don't see much of nobody live. Nah, it's just me and you stuck here. Creepers, always watching. Always watching. Love them creepers. But you ain't got to peek through the curtain. Just fucking bring some beer and come on in. So, she's just getting it. Uncontrollable, my friend. Much love. Um, hope you're well. I guess I'm fixing to get off here. Like I said, I just on this beautiful fucking Sabbath. Uh, show some love to these fellow humans. You know, kind word, a smoke, cup of coffee, something, you know, whatever. But show your neighbors some love. Your friend, brother, I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Until then, you can, we know GFY. See y'all on the other side.